Everybody put your hands up. Oh my gosh. Okay, we finna have a cipher while we playing. Okay, hello everyone. Now I'm not pitching, so I feel like I can be a regular human. Hello. Can you guys pull your phones out? This is interactive. Turn up, turn up. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Like, I'm not gonna pressure you or police your device or nothing, but it would be cool if you did it, but you know. If you have your device, can you please put it in the air and wave it like you just don't care? Okay, hey, turn up, round of applause for y'all. Y'all ate that, y'all ate that. Okay, hello everyone. This is Creative Burnout Recovery, reigniting passion when the work feels heavy. And we don't mean heavy in terms of workload. You know, what do you do when your accolades feel obsolete because you're moved by influence or by impact, you know? Okay, hello everyone. I'm Kamasia, and this is Ducko, the Burnt Out Duck. So a little bit about me, I'm a trauma-informed specialist. I'm also a sociocultural strategist and an innovative sociologist. I am a sociologist before I do anything else in my life. I love it to death. Can we tap it again? Okay, everyone, please close your eyes for me. We're gonna do a cute little activity. You don't gotta close your eyes if you don't have to, you don't want to, once again, but you know, you should close your eyes. Peer pressure works when it's positive, you know. So, I just want to give you guys some affirmations. You know, you are safe. You are not alone. You are not bad. You are worthy. Nobody knows what they're doing. Direction over speed. You are smart. You are competent. And this is a conversation, not a lecture. All right, you guys may open your beautiful eyes. Okay, perfect. Hey, turn up. Okay, you good? Okay, once again, this is interactive. So we have a cute little activity for you guys. If you guys can scan the QR code or go to menti.com and put in the code. It is going to ask you, what does burnout, when I say burnout, what word comes to your mind? And then we're gonna see a cute little word map from everyone. I hope this works. Hey! Okay, I'm so happy because this is like, I tested it, but I know it's gonna work when I was presenting. Okay, so when we think of burnout, what comes to mind? So the way a word map / bubble / cloud works is that when people put in the same word multiple times, it gets bigger. If it's been like a one or done and one thing on the side, it's gonna just kind of come up, you know, just around a little smaller. And so some things that came up, we see the big one that we all see is, all right, and the second big one we see is, yes, tired, exhaustion, but then we see things like, I need a clone, no more, where the bed at? Okay, I know that's right. All right, sleep, trauma has reached its peak, tired as hell, unprotected, burdened, tired, you know, defeated, disassociative, fatigued, detached, all these things, reset, restart, hollow, you know, so we see a lot of things where it's almost like you don't feel like you're in your flesh anymore. You don't feel like you're in your body. You feel almost like you're a machine and you glitching. You know, when we're burnt out, essentially we want to start working on reframing it. And that gets us into the next slide. Yes, burnout does not always look like collapse. Sometimes it's you feeling, for example, I'm going to refer to it where it said hollow. Things don't feel like they just don't hit the same no more. You know, you're getting these accolades, you're trying this new thing. Okay, cool, I got this award, but where's the joy? Where's the happiness? Where's the connection? Where's the passion of what you used to do? You know, in society, when we feel burnout, we do feel tired, we do feel exhausted, but sometimes we just don't want to do anything at all. Even if it's things that we love to do so deeply. Can I have a... Cool. So realistically, like, what is burnout? So burnout is the emotional, it's the spiritual, it's the cognitive, and physical exhaustion that occurs when our output is essentially exceeding how much we're being poured into and restored. You can't pour from an empty cup. At that point, you're pouring out droplets or you're giving air. That's when identity starts to be confused with productivity. That's where, you know, essentially your output is your worth. And I know when it comes to, for example, you don't have to raise your hand, but whether you're a current or a retired people pleaser, when you meet people and you're like, hey, how can I help you? How can I help you? Or even when it comes to your validation or being that friend that everyone can rely on, or that I'm the friend that I'll take you to the airport. It don't matter if it's 3 a.m. and I just got a 2 a.m. shift in the airport 3 hours away. So it's one of those things of really understanding and like detaching yourself from you being useful to you just being you and you being worthy. And then also where pressure replaces play. A lot of times when we get into our passions, we started off, it's cool, we here, but then it's like nowadays all you hear is, you draw real good. You can make money from that. Or you're like, okay, I like to make a sand castle. Oh, you should enter this competition because there's a prize of like $500 to make a sand castle. We see that capitalism has continuously started to corrode our sense of compassion regarding the projects that we do and the things that we love, because life is getting more expensive. The $20 bill is not a new $5. And so as we see that as a society we're not being poured into, we're told, yes, diversify your income, but now every single thing you do, you should be getting income from it. Where capitalism, we're feeling the weight of capitalism replacing our play and turning those things into pressure points for us to be productive. And all that does is feed the cycle of, now I'm on this hamster wheel where I have to feel productive in order to feel worthy. What do you do when rest does not feel like restoration? And we hear that rest is revolution, but you don't feel rested. And so creatives, everyone is a creative, everyone is an innovator, everyone is a problem solver, even if you don't deem yourself as a creative person. That is creative dysmorphia influencing you. And so creatives, we all burn out differently. First it feels personal, then it feels existential, and then we start getting into the comparative. Comparison is the thief of joy. It looks greener till you get into it and you're like, oh, there's no nutrients in the soil. This is turf. That's what fake grass is called? Turf. Okay, A, turn up. And so yes, and then we start to feel like we are the problem. We're no longer producers. We're producing identity, and it kind of once again just takes us back into that hamster wheel where we're chasing fulfillment, but society is telling you fulfillment looks like accolades. It looks like trophies, it looks like checks, it looks like pins, and it looks like buttons, it looks like rewards, it looks like followers, it looks like friends, it looks like having connections and a network and being a socialite and doing all these things. We start to dilute the essence of community. And so there's different types of burnout. So we have the overextension burnout. You're stretched out thin, you're so tired, too many projects, too many margins, so much to do. You guys know the Cat in the Hat movie with the realistic Cat in the Hat where he's bouncing on the ball, then he got an umbrella with a fish and all these things on him. You're constantly feeling like you're navigating that, but you're required to dribble down the stairs on a ball. And I know that was a crazy analogy, but we're getting there. Okay? And so it's one of those things where it's like this overextension now, it's toppling on top of you. We have the purpose drift. A, you're good at it, but are you connected? Does this make you happy still? Do you wake up and you have all these successes and all these accomplishments, but you dread going? You just don't feel like it. What do you do when when there's that one kid in grade school who's really good at drawing and everyone designates him, all right, there's a project, you're gonna be the one drawing. All right, pie graph, you're going to actually draw the realistic pie, and we're going to make it all creative, and we're going to whatever. And that person is usually some of the most introverted people who really just don't really even want to do it for real, but since society has given them, hey, you're phenomenal at this is your job, and it boxes them. What do you do when that box is now your community identity? Now stepping out of it feels like you're essentially throwing off the ecosystem. What do you do when you're labeled a shark when you really just wanted to be coral? Invisible labor. So we have the emotional labor, the community labor, the unpaid and under-acknowledged leadership that goes into play. I know a lot of parents might feel this way as well. In the community, you're sacrificing sleep, you're sacrificing time. Even when you're a purpose-driven individual, your startup's not making any money, you're producing, you're tired, you're producing, you're giving. And then it gets to the point where it's almost like you ask the community, hey, can you share this post? And it's like crickets. At that point, it's almost like, is this worth it? Is all the things that I put into my business, into my platform, into my ideal, my purpose, my livelihood, is this thing worth it because I'm not having communal support? You're sacrificing over and over and over again, and you're burnt out, and you don't even feel safe enough to voice the things that you're sacrificing for, but it's all in the name of community. What do you do when the community is the one thing that's spitting you out? Oh, I heard, okay. And then also survival mode. This is also our biggest one, because also everything can be true. I like the analogy, is it a 9 or is it a 6? But is it a lowercase b, p, q, or d? It all depends on where you're standing. And so now our last type of burnout, and this is not all of them, this is just the general 4 because I'm only up here for 30 minutes. Survival mode. You're doing it out of a need. You know, there's pressure, there's instability, there's financial fear around it. If this does not produce, you know, rent's still gonna be due. Bills don't stop because you got sick. Things are still going to topple on top of you. And so when you have all these things kind of coming in together, they're all kind of just blah. You're on the ground now. Yeah. All right, so it's important to know, y'all, that creativity requires safety. In order to create, to produce, to thrive, to exist, to do the things that you really want to do, but you just don't have the motivation or the energy to do it, I want to give you guys a quick little, I guess, analogy. Every day you guys wake up, you guys have a set of forks and a set of spoons. Your spoons is your capacity that you have, the energy. The forks is how many forks you give. And so every day I want you guys to, you know, when you wake up, realize we're not going to be on energy 100 every day. Sometimes we're on energy 7, and we have things that require 12 XP or HP. Y'all know what I mean. Okay? And so it's really allowing yourself, it also helps you get over the executive dysfunction of your task. If you know you have enough forks but not enough spoons, well, we can move that a little up on the to-do list, but that's the issue for tomorrow, Kamasia. After she done had a nap, after she done had a bubble bath or listened to an audiobook or had some time to really hone in. And so I want you guys to close your eyes. Again, sorry, I know y'all like, girl, we're gonna go to sleep, you playing. All right, so I want you guys to close your eyes, and I'm gonna ask you guys some questions. And you know, if you do wanna answer these out loud, this is a safe space, you can raise your hand. If not, that's also super valid. But I want you guys to take 3 super slow breaths. In and out. One more time. In and out. One more time. In and out. All right, keep your eyes closed. When you think about the work that you do, when did the work stop feeling like passion, and when did it stop feeling like play? What changed? Did the hours increase? Did the community start shifting? Did your capacity just start getting overwhelmed? And you hold it up. You still navigate, you still thriving, the train's still chugging and chewing. But who did you start performing? Who did you start performing for in terms of you being normal, essentially? When did burnout and this progression of like you holding on all these components of responsibilities and duties and the things you have to do while still navigating your passion and your identity as a person, when did your plate get full? And why did you start performing that is not? When did becoming uncomfortable become the new comfortable for you? And so I want you guys to open your eyes. You guys are welcome to share if you guys want. Does anybody want to share? Y'all can raise your hand. And that's,
Well, it's mostly like work environment. So sometimes leadership changes. So the work environment shifts, and that definitely could lead to a lot of burnout.
That's real. Period. Does anybody else want to share?
Revising proposals that are over 10 pages for me is the joy of the project every time.
That's real. You ready?
For us, it was when we started scaling. When we weren't just building this cool-ass product for cool-ass people. We had to add all of this structure. We had to add all of this additional stuff to talk to our customers, certifications, things like that. It went from just being this cool-ass thing that we do to like a chore. Initially, until we figured out how to like make that work in our environment.
That's real. Anybody else? Everybody? Anybody else? Once, twice, thrice, twice. Perfect. Are we can? And so here we have some frameworks. If you know me, which you probably don't, I love a good framework, and I love when there is alliteration. English major, I love me some alliteration. So we have the 3 R's of reigniting passion. We have restore, reconnect, and redesign. And so restore. We're going to focus on regulating your nervous system. What do you like to do? That's not being productive. If you thought of something productive, it doesn't count. Do you like to draw? Do you like long walks on the beach? Do you like to color? Do you like to sit in silence? Do you like to sleep? Do you like to hang out with your friends? Do you like to go to the club? You know, what do you like to do and what revitalizes you? And so this is where we're gonna have things like our journal prompts. This is where we're gonna have our books. We're gonna go out in nature. We're gonna go hug a tree. I do love hugging trees. They really do stabilize your nervous system. It's kind of crazy. You know, this is where we're gonna kind of go into any faith work if you guys are faith-based. There's so many different avenues. You know yourself best. What are the things that genuinely bring you joy? And if you don't know what that is, here's a hint. You're probably putting it off because you gotta handle X first. So that thing that you're like, oh, I'm doing tomorrow, oh, I'm doing when I'm finished this book, that's what you really need to be honing in on. If it keeps coming up in your mind, it's for a reason. Your body is yearning for it. But society is trying to take you out of your body, say, no, come on. No, you need another $100 because you want to go on that trip. Come on. Reconnect. Revisit your why. Sometimes our why changes, honestly. When it comes to reconnecting, you're going to want to visit early experiments that you did, whether it was of the thing that you created or just new things. A lot of times we see that we kind of go into the same mundane schedule over and over and over and over and over again, where it's like, okay, the things change, programs change, but we're still doing the same thing of eat, sleep, work, go to sleep, do the same thing. What random things did you try in the past that you just never gave yourself enough time because you weren't immediately good at it? What are some skills that you can learn? Why did you fall in love with the thing that you started? Why did you fall in love? Why were you so happy to wake up in the morning? Was it because new means of expression? Was it because you were building something innovative? Was it because you were changing lives? Was it because, you just were proud of yourself and that was a moment where you really needed that pat on the back for yourself? It's refining and essentially finding those old wires and reconnecting them to yourself. And then, redesigning your systems. Good habits are built off of new system changes. When your systems change and your systems are efficient and tailored to you, and this is including things like different neurodivergencies, when you tailor the system to you, it's as effective as it could be. And so it's essentially asking yourself, if I know going to the gym was one of my favorite things to do, but then I just fell off, let's start building those systems. All right, gym clothes in front of me. Giving myself, reward things. Okay, cool. If you go to the gym 5 times, you get to go thrifting, $20 budget. Give yourself a little small treat, And so it's like essentially you reparenting yourself and allowing your inner child to kind of show up. And, a lot of times when we find out like we're burnt out on these things that we used to love is because your inner child said, I don't want to play with this no more. This isn't fun. You took the fun out of it. And it's you talking to your older self and you're just like, man, these bills though, I'm a child. I should not be thinking about bills. So it's you really reparenting yourself and finding that reconnection with yourself because, creativity is an inner child essence. Society will try to siphon that out of you because they want you to conform to the system of you being productive. Your work is in your productivity. But as a kid, no. We used to play games, used to go outside. We used to play on the Xbox or the PS2, PS1, and just have fun. But yes, rest is not a reward. It's maintenance. You guys know when you guys have a phone or a computer and you just don't update it, and then it starts glitching. You're like, man, I low-key should have updated this. You can't update it if there's no storage. You have 95,000 pictures of the same fern plant. You don't need them. So you have to pour and take some things out in order for you to get that upgrade so you are not glitching. You cannot have unprotected no output time. You have to protect. It has to be a non-negotiable. You have to say your non-negotiable is you showing up for yourself. You showed up for this project. You showed up for the community. You showed up for this, your parents, your family, your kids, all these things. Where's your dedicated me time that you're not compromising because you can do it tomorrow? Who said that there is a tomorrow for you? So oftentimes we work and we work and we work until we can't work anymore. And then it's, I wish I did these things. I wish I honored these sides of me. Also we have to kind of bring ourselves back into our body. There's EMF tapping where you simply just tap your body, tap certain parts. And it can be things like, I am good, I am safe. I am good, I am safe. And you're triggering those pressure points and it's still affirming yourself over and over and over again. There's breath work, there's stretching, having digital boundaries, having a time on your apps, or even having words that you block out so that when people, for example, let's say people constantly comment on like, oh my gosh, like she always got a blue dress on or something like that. If I'm getting tired of seeing people comment on my blue dress, I'm gonna block out the word blue dress. So they're no longer going to, they're still probably going to type it, but now they got to say aquamarine turquoise garment. So it's like, you're going to have to jump through these hoops to kind of get past my boundaries. And then when I clock that one, now it's going to be denim, turquoise, like, you know what I mean? It's like really putting those boundaries up, not only when it comes to like you doing the dopamine cleanse, because you should experience dopamine, but it just shouldn't be something that's unfulfilling. And then also, saying no. Everyone give yourself a round of applause. Fun fact, when I was a teacher, I used to stay doing that. Just random round of applause. But yes, that round of applause was because, you know, some people didn't participate. Congratulations for saying no. Like, what? Turn up. But yes, saying no, you don't have to explain. You don't have to anything like that. If you are a recovering people pleaser, current people pleaser, former people pleaser, anything like that, y'all know when y'all say no, it's almost like an act of betrayal on yourself and on that person. But that's how you save yourself. No is a complete sentence. And anyone who, what if they don't want to be my friend no more? What if they cut me off? What if they abuse me? Then they only were using you. They weren't there for you. They were there because of what they could get. And so you don't even deserve those people in your vicinity. Can I have a thingy? Okay, yes, reconnect. Yes, once again, we're back in the R's, but it's a little bit more, I guess, expansive. But yes, once again, recreate your messy work. We're gonna reconnect. We're gonna tap into our inner child. If you haven't doodled in a long time, go doodle. The difference between doodling and drawing, doodling, you just doing it. Drawing, you're like, I wanna draw a realistic eye. And you go on YouTube and put realistic eye. Perfect. Make something that you aren't gonna publish. Make something for yourself. Collaborate without monetizing it. Consume art outside of your traditional medium. Have fun, go to a museum. And then experiment with new mediums of creativity. Redesign. Burnout often reveals a broken business structure. You are the business, babes. You are the business. You are the product. You are the program. You are the SaaS. You are everything. And so I want you guys to ask, like, what systems right now do you have in place that are ultimately exhausting you? For example, unrealistic posting schedules. I know when I was getting into content, I was like, oh, every day I'm gonna post something. Every day I'm gonna have this, and I'm posting LinkedIn, and I'm posting this, and I realized, like, girl, no, you're not. You're actually not gonna do any of that. You're not gonna post at all, because now you're overwhelmed. We gotta reflect, why are we putting such high expectations on ourselves? Would you put those expectations on your loved ones? Would you put those expectations on your friends? When it comes to business, are you working with clients who have misaligned values? Simply because, you know, we need the money, we need this, you know. And then when it comes to like your revenue model, and this is revenue not only in terms of money, but in terms of like you being poured into, is it based solely on visibility? Do you believe that you have to be visible, that you have to be putting yourself out there, that you have to be sacrificing just for the sake of being deemed as worthy or as a thought leader? And then also, lack of delegation. Delegate your tasks. If you do not have a team because you can't afford one, unpaid interns, you can compensate them in other ways. You can compensate them in an abundance of ways that aren't financial. Utilize your network, utilize all these things. And now we have homework. Yay, turn up. Okay, so this isn't on here, but this is, if you guys listen to anything that I said, because y'all like, ooh, she's talking up here a lot, take this one thing. Every day, I want you to try one thing that you've never done before. That's all you need to do. It could be something as simple as, you know, I usually put my right shoe on first. Let me put the left shoe on. Let me try this restaurant. I brush my teeth with my left hand. I'm doing both just because I want to do it. Try one thing because that's going to continuously push you out of your comfort zone. And so I would like for y'all to take a picture of this. Y'all don't have to because, once again, that's on y'all. But what's one boundary that you're going to implement? One experiment that you're going to try this month. Make it tangible. SMART goals. And so it's one of those things where it's important to understand that like you do have to protect yourself in these things, and a lot of that show up as you showing up for yourself. Your creativity isn't gone, it's protecting itself, and burnout is not the end of your passion, it's an invitation for you to create differently. And with that being said, everyone, thank you. Whew, that was a lot.